So now that I have fallen down this rabbit hole, I just jumped onto Twitter's. And I got an alt Twitter where I pretend to be a MAGA guy. And I saw a live. And I am not kidding you. This dude, or all these dudes, these farmer dudes in there, these farm owner dudes, were saying, well, we thought the blacks would come back and do the jobs because they don't have jobs. Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but black people have jobs, and you thought you were getting your slaves back is basically what you were saying. That's what you thought. It's still going right now, and I'm not going to post a link to it because I don't want to give these people a voice. But they think they're in a safe space on Twitter. They're not.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Huh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all pay. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's
Just seen a guy come from Twitter and said that the white farmers was upset because they thought that the black people was gonna be out there in the fields. You better get your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your brother, your sister, your uncle, whoever the fuck else, because black people are not fucking coming out there. Are y'all fucking?
White farmers on Twitter were thinking black people were going to come work on their farms.
They thought, what? I've been a financial analyst for about over 20 years, probably 21. Count me out. I'm busy.
Never thought I was going to lose this much money this fast.
Jim is a Republican who voted for Donald Trump 3 times.
How do you feel about your vote for Donald Trump now?
Well, I feel like perhaps I should have considered some other options.
The past 2 years, Jim has been selling honey to the federal government, which then provides it to schools and food banks. But after Donald Trump took office, the USDA cut those programs suddenly as part of the federal government's effort to streamline spending.
For a lot of other local farmers around here, it was a major source of reliable revenue. For me, it's going to cost me around $150,000 a year.
$150,000.
Yeah, roughly 50% of my revenue.
That's a huge hit.
That's a massive hit.
Wait, what? Did the white farmers think they were going to get rid of the immigrants that were working for them, helping them grow their crops, so they can get the blacks back in the field working? I can't even say this with a straight face. Wait, what? Wait, so all of this is because y'all thought the black people, us, the new generation, was going to go back to the field to work for the wood blocks? Let me come down so I can get this to y'all, okay? So the white people, the plum-colored people, the moon blondes, actually thought the black people were going to go back to working in the field voluntarily.
The level of determination that has been dedicated to try to ensure that Black Americans do not thrive is not by accident. And that is the reason why Black farmers are being shut out again. While the Trump administration rolls out financial lifelines for white farmers, Black farmers are being left out, overlooked, and pushed closer to extinction. And if it weren't for people like John Boyd Jr. sounding the alarm, this story would stay buried in the soil. Let's talk about history. Black farmers once owned 14% of United States farmland. Today, less than 1.3%. How, Sway? I'll tell you. Generational land theft, discriminatory USDA policies, and a long history of being denied access to the very tools white farmers receive as default. And now, in 2025, the Trump administration is doubling down, offering federal farm credits, subsidies, and contracts almost exclusively to white farmers. And they're doing it in broad daylight. John Boyd Jr. has entered the chat.
My name is John Boyd, founder and president of the National Black Farmers Association.
John Boyd Jr., a fourth-generation American farmer, is out here telling the truth.
You need to rise up and speak out now, not later, because if we don't, they're going to continue to take this country down a pathway that is going to take decades to get away from.
He says it clearly. It's not that we don't want to farm, it's that the system doesn't want us to succeed. Let's be clear. This is not about charity. This is about fairness, about access, about survival. The federal numbers don't lie. In 2021, the Trump administration handed out $26 billion in pandemic farm relief. Black farmers received 0.01% of this relief fund. And in 2025, with new rounds of credits going out, the same pattern is repeating. White farmers are getting bailed out. Black farmers are getting boxed out.
I'm looking for $5 billion in debt relief, and I'm asking the Federal Court of Appeals to reverse the decision and grant 17,000 Black and other farmers of color 120% debt relief.
The stakes are higher than food. This isn't just about crop yields or subsidies. This is about land, food justice, generational wealth, and the right to live and work with dignity. Black farmers aren't asking for special treatment. They're asking for equal footing. We can't keep letting politicians toss our people aside while offering refuge and resources to others, not because they're in greater danger, but because they fit a preferred political narrative. If we care about sustainability, food security, or economic justice, we cannot leave Black farmers out of the conversation. Their legacy is American history. Their land is American land, and their fight deserves our full support.
I don't care what they say. I'm not going to stop fighting, and you should not stop fighting in this country.
Peace, y'all.
That man said he went up on the Twitters and he saw them the white farmers, saying that, oh, well, we thought the black folk were going to come back and do the job. He said that they said the blacks, but he said they were convinced that when they started deporting these non-black people of color, right, that we were going to be taking their places back in the fields. Essentially, they thought they were getting their slaves back, right? They thought slavery was going to come back full force. We were going to be like, oh, okay, let's get on back to them fields, because they don't think black people have jobs. But it makes sense, because remember when Trump said they're taking your black jobs? Y'all remember that? Yeah, what do y'all think he meant by that? He meant the people that are in the fields now, right? Which are the Hispanic community, the Latinos. He meant that they were taking our black jobs. See, because he thinks that black people's job is to be up in the field. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what he thinks. So it all makes sense now. They really thought, these farm owners really thought that black folk, they were going to deport the Hispanics, the Latino community, and that black people were going to go back to the field working for nothing. And they tell us to stop living in the past. Bruh.
So now that I have fallen down this rabbit hole, I just jumped onto Twitters, and I got an alt Twitter where I pretend to be a MAGA guy, and I saw a live, and I am not kidding you. This dude, all these dudes in these farmer dudes in there, these farm owner dudes, they're saying, well, we thought the blacks would come back and do the jobs because they don't have jobs. Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but black people have jobs, and you thought you were getting your slaves back is basically what you were saying. Like, that's what you thought. It's still going right now, and I'm not going to post a link to it because I don't want to give these people a voice. But they think they're in a safe space on Twitter. They're not.
Didn't I tell y'all that's what they thought? They thought black people were going to go get them jobs in the field. Since the migrants are gone, we ain't got no jobs, so we going to go back in the field and pick. That's what they thought. Oops. We worked for free in this country for 290 years. We ain't picking nothing for y'all. Y'all better get y'all white folks out there and go pick them fruits and them vegetables and take care of them cattle and the chickens. We not going out there. But I made a video. I can't find the shit, damn it. But I made a video when this all started, and I said they think black people are going to go back and work in the fields. That's why Donald Trump said they are taking black jobs. They think that's what we're supposed to go do. And they're finding out real quick, black people ain't coming. Y'all can hold your breath on that one. We ain't picking shit for y'all. We will grow our own vegetables and take care of our own selves. We not going to them fields. Y'all better figure out what y'all want to do about this immigration policy and these mass deportations, or white folks, get your ass out there and go pick your own goddamn food. But we ain't coming.
Them farmers really thought we was going back to them fields. They really thought we was going back to them fields. You know what? My mother was the first generation on her mother's side not to be brought up on a plantation. Not to be brought up on a plantation. That's what I said. My grandfather had a 3rd grade education, but he left my mama 2 houses, property in the bank, property and money in the bank, with a 3rd grade education. And guess what? He worked in fields. My great grandmother worked in fields and cut that cane just like a man. You hear me? And if you think that Eddie Lewis and Victoria C. Jones and all the rest of my ancestors bust their tail in them fields for us to go back to the fields, absolutely not. That's not progress. We're trying to heal from ancestral trauma. We're trying to heal from that. That ain't happening. That produce could rot in them fields before we go back to them fields. They need to let them know that.
Well, let me get this straight. The white farmers voted for that man because they thought it would put my people back in the fields? I will go.
So let me get this straight. You want the descendants of the enslaved peoples of this land to forget about the enslavement period and all the things that occurred after. But you got white farmers in groups complaining that black people aren't returning to farms we never worked on to work for them. The perversion that exists between white folks' delusions of grandeur and thinking that we're gonna go and be forced to work for them, and the antebellum period and all that bullshit is
no more Hispanic workers on his job site, so they called him in.
Not y'all melting. You all are like disintegrating into the rooftops and cement. Like, you voted for Trump so that he could take immigrants out to get jobs back that you never had. And you're dissolving outside in this heat. Y'all should have went for corporate jobs. Go take them out. Go take them out, because you all gonna go extinct at this rate.
Want to get rid of illegal immigrants? Quit eating. And that's for everybody. That's, nationwide. If you want to get rid of them, quit eating. That'll solve the problem.
But when only 5 pickers showed up this morning to harvest his sweet potatoes, farmer Keith Smith saw possible ruin, the loss of his $500,000 crop.
They're running scared because of this new law.
And you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble, bad trouble.
Smith's 200 acres need 20 pickers, mostly Mexican nationals.
There is not enough documented people here to supply that workforce.
Most of your workers are here illegally.
That's sure. If they got documentation, they got a better job working for me.
Fernando Aldeman, a Mexican national, has worked Smith's farm since 1992. Everybody's just scared.
Yeah.
Now, are you here legally? No.
No.
So, are you scared?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared, you know.
Smith's pickers make about $100 a day. He supports immigration laws, just not this one that threatens his third-generation family.
Policies. Here it is.
If they let in hundreds or thousands of people who already have criminal records, if deporting them creates a mass deportation, I'm all for it.
But what if rounded up in all of that are people who work on a farm? They're doing the jobs that Americans don't want to do. Does that worry you?
That wouldn't be fair. Of course, you know, they need to make sure that they don't throw away, they don't kick out, they don't deport people that are family oriented.
Oh, okay. This is what the family told MSNBC.
Mario and Mireya both crossed the border illegally as teenagers, but became citizens under President Ronald Reagan's amnesty. They see themselves as different from migrants crossing the border today. In what way do you think they're different?
The people that are coming here are the criminals, you know? The ones that did something bad in their country, they're running away from their law.
Despite having close family members who are undocumented,
migrant invasion.
They don't believe they'll end up in Trump's crosshairs. When you hear Trump promise mass deportations, do you worry about them?
Yes and no, because the ones that I know, they're doing good.
It's 7:30 a.m. in humid North Florida, the beginning of a long day on a large farm, where hired workers are in the middle of harvesting roughly 2.2 million watermelon, about 32 million pounds worth, over the course of about 6 weeks, with more than 150 people working to harvest the watermelon. I asked farm owner Trevor Bass this question. How many U.S. citizens pick crops on your farm? None. Zero. Actually, on this day, there is one U.S. citizen, me. I requested a chance to work for one day on this farm to learn more about why so many farmers have such a difficult time getting Americans to work on their farms.
Okay, so this watermelon is ripe, it's ready. We turn it over so the yellow part is on top, so then the people who pick it up know it's ready because they see the yellow part on top.
Everyone I'm working with here is from Mexico, all part of the U.S. government's guest worker program known as H-2A. American farmers can hire foreign nationals under the H-2A program as long as they follow strict provisions, which include only hiring them after trying to employ Americans first, which this farm owner did, and got no takers.
The idea is we have this chain here, and we're going to be taking these watermelons, putting them on this bus, and we're going to be doing it for hours straight.
Dustin Blank is a farmer and also represents other farms when selling finished product to stores.
I own 2 farming operations. And you represent how many farms?
Over 30.
And how many U.S. citizens do you know of who work on any of those farms?
Short of management, 0.
Under H-2A, guest workers can't get paid less than Americans. Florida's minimum H-2A salary is $14.33 an hour. And at this farm, the Mexicans are permitted to work for as many hours as they want, with extra bonuses for the amount of work done. They can easily make more than $1,000 a week. They are subject to income tax. Edgar Hernandez is a husband and father who sends all his money home to his family. I ask him why he doesn't think there are any Americans harvesting with him.
Es pesado.
It's heavy, he says. The work is hard. These farm owners don't disagree with that assessment. Americans have other choices and just don't want to do this, they say.
I would say this work on a scale from 1 to 10 would be at a 9. I mean, it's about as hard as it gets. There are about 18,000 pounds of watermelon on each of these buses. In addition to these being heavy, it's extremely monotonous.
Both these men describe themselves as politically conservative. However, they say this government program is not only a necessity, but should have an application process that is faster and more flexible.
Yes, we don't need to open the borders and let everyone across, but these guys are coming here for a reason. They're coming here for serious work to try to support their families in Mexico or wherever they've come from. They're not here to play. I mean, it's very obvious. Look behind us.
We're here. We are here at the FAFO stage. This is really bad. And if you appreciate my content, please engage with this video. I'm just going to read this to you. Multiple Texas farms shut down after almost 100% of workforce vanishes overnight. In a stunningly swift overnight change, some Texas farm operations had to shut down after losing virtually all of their workforce, an exodus triggered by the increase in immigration raids and increased enforcement. The ripple effects of these raids are the gift that keeps on giving and will be felt nationwide. Unpicked crops are now left unharvested. Livestock were left untended, and rural economies are on edge. The story isn't just a tale of woe for Texas farms. It's a warning for American agribusiness, food prices, and communities that keep food on our plates. I need you to share this with every Republican you know. And you don't even need to wait for their response. They just need to know what's happening. And this is part of my line of work. I deal with commercial farmers, including these small farmers, as clients. And I cannot tell you how this is the beginning of the complete collapse of our economy under this Project 2025 administration that doesn't know what they're doing. You talk about the immediate shuttering of farms, because this is actually what's happening with the food, with the harvests that are lying there completely rotting. That is a loss of food to local food distributors, local grocery stores, local restaurants, hospitals. They sell their harvests, all sorts of vegetables, to businesses within the state of Texas. This is where you can go into your local grocery store, and now you're going to see hardly any vegetables or fruit, depending on what they're growing, or a shortage of meat. This is what's going to happen. Now, all of the other industries that support farming, you've got local pesticide, herbicide, fertilizer suppliers that are just, their sales are going to plummet. These farmers aren't going to be purchasing that. You've got H-2A workers who are now gone, migrant workers who are now gone. They were paying taxes. Even if they didn't have social security numbers, they were given tax numbers, tax ID numbers. So now you got millions of dollars just poof, gone overnight from these Texas communities. You've got trucking companies that are hired to haul the produce from the farms to the packaging plants. You've got packaging plants who wash the vegetables, grade the vegetables, pack the vegetables, whose sales are going to plummet. Now you're going to have other industries who don't employ either migrant workers or H-2A workers who are going to have layoffs. This is all under Republican leadership, not just from the White House, but from the Republicans that were elected in the state of Texas. And if you think this is going to stop at Texas, you've got another thing coming. And you want to know which farms are going to be impacted further down the road? They're going to be safe for now. There's a small percentage of farmers who are actually Democrats. And they understand how important it is to protect their employees, take care of their employees. Those employees who feel safe will keep showing up for work because they know the owners have their backs, which says something about these other farms where the employees are like, I'm too scared to show up. Let me add this final thing. This is going to impact farmers. They're at risk of going out of business. Who's going to jump in? The federal government to compensate them with our tax dollars. So now our tax dollars is going to be used to cover the bullshit leadership of this administration on top of the overwhelming increasing tax dollars being used by this administration to scare, to deport, to imprison people with brown skin. Like, our tax dollars are not helping everyday Americans at all. And this is just the beginning under Republican leadership. Share this video.
So my wife was having a conversation with a family member who happens to be married to a farmer, and the family member was talking about how they recently had lost a number of workers due to deportations, and how that was going to affect them, that work on the farm wasn't going to get done, that they might not produce as much milk or as much grains as they normally would because they wouldn't have the workers to get this done. And once again, it shows that, one, Trump supporters, as these individuals are, don't care about the people. They care about only things when they affect themselves. They only care when it's going to affect the money that they make, or in this case, that they're actually going to have to go out and do what farmers should be doing, which is working in their fields, working in their barns. They didn't care that the people are deported. They care that they might lose some money and that they're going to have to actually work for a little bit of time. They don't care about the people. And it's another one of those "we told you so" moments.
I've had enough. Yeah, I've had enough of this horse shit. I don't give a shit what kind of law you make. I ain't going to follow it. I ain't paying my taxes this year. I just don't even care. I'm not going to be ruled by tyrants. I'm done. No taxes. I'm not following your goddamn laws that you make that are arbitrary and unconstitutional. I just ain't doing it. I've had fucking enough of your bullshit. Washington State, Oregon, California, kiss my ass. I ain't following no more laws. No more new laws that don't make no sense. Your little snitch line and all your bullshit you got going on, I'm not doing it. I'm not funding your scams and your NGOs and your fucking bullshit. Your wars, your thieving. Yeah, thieving. You loudmouth politicians that don't give a fuck about the common person. I'm done. I've had enough. I am no longer going to participate in your horse shit. And I don't give a fuck what you try to take from me. I come into this world with nothing. I'll go out with nothing. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you and fuck off. And on top of that, you best leave me the fuck alone, because you won't like the results if you come out here and try to stomp on my neck. It won't end well. I'm old. And I'm mean as fuck. Leave me alone.
This is how it went.
Very happy and excited that Trump won. As far as financially, obviously nothing's really changed. We're still under the Biden administration, but I know that it is coming.
And this is how it's going.
So I admit, I regret my vote for Donald Trump. I regret it because I needed these changes sooner. I needed the prices to go down sooner so that I didn't drain out my bank account.
What y'all having for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Because that is far more interesting to me than whatever she talking about. Have the day you voted for, ma'am. Get your dancing shoes back out and get to stepping. Make America great again. One millionaire and billionaire at a time. He loves the poorly educated. His words, not mine. And this is the prime example of why. FAAFO. Have the day you voted for. And don't make me say it no more.
I think when people told you that they were voting for him because of the economy, they were lying. I think people voted for him because this country, too many people in this country, couldn't even think about voting for a black female. But they don't want to say. They're not going to say. I'm not voting for her because she's a woman or she's black. God forbid she's both. Oh, and by the way, she's married to a Jewish guy. They're not going to say that. They're going to say, I'm voting for him because of the economy. They're liars.
Hold on. Completely agree with a lot of what you say. But when we say they're liars, we don't mean all of them. Put your best spin on. Why would some...
He's a good businessman. They think he was going to make us money.
A good businessman, do good for the economy, make money. Okay, smart guy. Why did good people vote for Trump?
You voted for a candidate endorsed by the KKK. Yes. For the rest of your life, you have to know that you voted the same way as the KKK No ifs, ands, or buts. You voted for hatred. You voted against women, the gay community, Mexicans, against blacks. And you're going to call yourself a Christian? I don't give a fuck if you go to church 23 out of 24 hours. You're a mean motherfucker.
I live in Texas, right? And you know what? I'm just like, all the stuff that's going on, I just sit back and smile because I saw this. I just want you to know that almost all of Texas blacks, a good percentage, we voted against it because I live in Texas. I saw what was happening. I knew what was coming. Let me tell you, here in Texas, the amount of racism I've ever even come close to experiencing from Mexicans, from Spanish people. When I was a dancer, when I was a stripper, every time I would go to the club, the way that the clubs were so racist, there was a time I went to a club out in Texas, what the fuck is it called? Damn. If I'm lying, there's strippers who will be in here. And the club told me that, oh, they don't hire girls like me. This is a club full of a bunch of, I would say, illegals, because I'm sure none of them spoke English. None of them spoke English, which I low-key think they was trapping out of there. They was pimping them girls out of there. And they said, oh, they don't take girls like us. We should go down to the club down the street, the black club. I just laugh because, let me tell you, karma is beautiful. Karma is beautiful. And you know what's funny? I went by that club a couple days ago. It's empty. It's empty. It's empty. Even though the racism applied to me, I still voted against all this shit. I voted against it. And guess what they did? Voted to hurt me.
I don't understand how people are still defending this man.
Look, a part of me can understand this woman's frustration. I don't know if she and her family or loved ones have gone through something traumatic as a result of this, cleaning up the border, tightening things up, getting illegals the hell out of here. And if she has gone through that, I feel bad, right? You never want to see people suffer. But two things can be true. While I can have those feelings, I also feel some kind of way that I don't see the Hispanic community, specifically Hispanic women, calling out their men. And Marisol, I need y'all to slow your whole damn roll on this topic. Because y'all love to get on here. I think at one point, y'all were even pointing the finger at black men, which made me feel some kind of way with regard to the election and Trump and the border. And how come y'all ain't stepping up and we've been there for you, black and brown together. This whole time, even with this video, y'all never call out Enrique. You never call out your men, who, by the way, the majority of which voted for Trump. I think Trump got between 55 and 58% of the male Hispanic vote in this country. And I think 42 or 43% of the overall Hispanic vote. So yeah, I'm nitpicking and being petty with regard to your word choice, but I need you to be very specific when you talk about how can you or how can they still support this man. No, Chica, the support happened last November. You're too late to be talking about how could you support. Your men voted majority for Trump, 55%, over half. Yet y'all never call them out. And as a black man, I gotta say, I'm low-key jealous of Enrique. Marisol ain't gonna call him out for nothing. But oh, the black manosphere, man, election wasn't even over. We was already getting blamed. Michelle Obama even slapped Barack in the back of the neck. Go get these ninjas in line, had him barking at us. Got blamed before the election was over. Voted, I think, 80-some% for Kamala. And still got blamed. Imagine that.
This is so crazy that we voted for Trump.
I know y'all remember her well.
Quote unquote, saying that this is not your battle. What do you mean this is not your battle?
First of all, we're not asking for help. Let's get that straight. Second of all, if you want to stand for your rights, then this is your fight too. We are sick and tired that people are attacking each other, and y'all want to make yourself really known. This is the problem now. Whenever Mexican and Latinos get together, we know how to come together and fight. But what do y'all do? Y'all go against each other.
This is the same person who didn't come together with her own undocumented grandparents and voted to have ICE deport them. And yeah, you had to learn how to protest real quick to try to get yourself out of the mess you created after you not only stabbed the Black community in the back on November 5th, but when you stabbed yourself, your family, and your own community in the back.
We know how to protest the right way.
Here comes the anti-Black, white-pleasing rhetoric.
We don't break into stores. We don't do all this, this demolish stuff. We don't do none of that.
First of all, yes, y'all do, because we're watching it in LA right now. Secondly, by any means necessary, telling us to protest the right way is gaslighting by the ruling class. It's a racist talking point mostly weaponized against Black people. This Hispanic woman still seeks validation and acceptance from the white ruling class. She is submissive to them and will protest only in ways that the people oppressing her deem acceptable. No form of protest is acceptable to them, by the way. I hear so many Hispanics pitting themselves against each other, criticizing protesters in LA for what they perceive as protesting violently. So again, you don't stick together. Protesters in LA are dealing with antagonistic National Guard and U.S. Marines. No one else in the country is dealing with what the protesters in LA are dealing with, and I support LA.
It's kind of hurtful for y'all to say different things like, oh, we don't need Latino, we don't need no Mexican, we don't need this, we better without them. Fine.
You don't get to sit here and cry because you backstabbed Black people on November 5th and now Black people don't want to support you.
And we forgive you. You know that? Because that's how good we are. We have good hearts. We help other people.
You got a good heart? Is that why you voted to send ICE after your own grandparents and your neighbors? Is that your version of helping?
But for y'all to sit there and say, take your asses back to where y'all came from.
If some Black people are saying that, those are words, because on November 5th, Black people voted to keep you and your community safe. Did you vote to keep your own community safe? No, you didn't. You voted for ICE to attack your community and come pick up your own grandparents to send them back. Hispanics like you damage unity between brown and Black people. There is no accountability for the destruction you did to yourself and your own people. There is no accountability for your anti-Blackness, which has contributed to all of us as a people and as a country now losing our rights and our democracy. And you have the audacity to be mad that Black people do not want to stand with you, especially when there are some of you out there protesting using the N-word.
I put my dick on your plate, nigga. Fuck your family, fuck your kids, nigga.
That nigga right there.
Do you go to Kava?
Yeah, you do, nigga. Stop playing.
African American community is the only community that has the power in this country to change anything. They are the only one with the experience of civil matter. They are the only one que tenían el esclavo ahí mismitico. They are the only one that are not going to get deported anywhere, and you cannot put them all in jail. So African American community, which is the community that is stepped on by Cubans, the most are the only ones that are going to save the Latinos. And I clap for the African American community that has not come out. Because it is not. I do. We didn't do shit for them.
I get it. But I don't.
Me and you support, but in masses, we didn't support anything that was going with them. Latinos look at Cubans specifically. I'm not gonna talk about any other community because I'm not part of that community, even though I'm a Latina with them. Cubans talk shit about African Americans.
It's true.
Cubans did not support African Americans. Cubans think that they all victimize themselves, of this, all of that. African Americans are the only ones that are going to save your asses, Latinos. So you better start kissing. If you're going to kiss some ass in this country, you better kiss some Black ass.
at this point. I thought maybe, you guys had people to work, you had your friends lined up, you got all your other white friends who were volunteering to work because the blacks were taking all the jobs. I thought that's what it was. I mean, I thought maybe, it was benefiting you in a way or so, or one way or another. I thought, you were doing it because you wanted to actually go to work. You wanted to actually, go in the field and do the job because you want to keep all the money in the family and not having to pay someone else to do the job for you, like you've been doing all this time. By show of hands, how many people, as someone who worked in a nursing home, and I used to work in a nursing home as a CNA, anytime we had any white CNAs, we knew that they were going to just voy caca. We knew these people were not going to work for real. They were going to be in the boss's office complaining about the black people so they can be like the boss's favorite, so they can be the eyes and ears of the boss while they are out, while they're on the floor working, instead of actually working, but really tattletelling on people, basically staying in the office, going to lunch with the boss, staying longer, taking longer lunch. Not saying all white people, because I have worked with some white people who actually do the work and they actually work hard for what they, do the work and actually continue to do the work. But a majority of the ones that I have worked with are the ones who are basically the lazy ones who really don't do the work for real, but they sit in the office with the boss, chit-chatting, complaining about other people, reporting other people, and actually taking long lunch with the bosses. Not saying all white people, but majority of people. When I've actually observed, that's what I see. So in my opinion, getting the immigrants who are willing to do the work that a lot of you guys were not willing to do out of this country because you wanted the jobs. I thought you already had people lined up to do the work. Not the blacks were going to go back to the field and do the work because black boy ain't got no job. Boy ain't got no job. I don't even want to work. I mean, yeah, I gotta work because I got bills to pay, but I was not made to work, honey. You see these hands? You see these fingernails? This is crazy work. Let's get into it because I'm so shocked that this man is saying that in the whole mega group, these toothless mountain caucus people thought that black people were going to go in the field to go dig crops for them, for their... Let's get into it. And nothing against the white people that I have that follow me. Nothing against the good white people. Because there are a few. Not very much of them, but there are a few. Nothing against the ones who are here, who actually are our allies in a way. Not to say that we want y'all to be our ally. We just want to coexist with everyone. But that's not what you guys want. You guys want to just own the whole land and just take everything over. Meanwhile, you don't even want to work the land. I'm just confused. You want the land, but you don't want to work the land. You want to own everything in the land, but you want other people to work in the hot sun and do your crops and do everything for you, but you just want to have the money and not actually work the land that you want. Because you want the land, right? According to what people have been saying, you want to have the land. You go all over the world and steal people's lands, but then you want the same people that you stole the land from to come and work the field for you for little to no money. Let's get into it. I'm shocked. I'm not really shocked, but I'm shocked. I'm so shocked that these people thought in their small brain that black people are going to go back and work the field. I'm shocked. Let's get into it.